So, hey guys, today is May 6th, and it's Charisse here with our biweekly team call. The topic tonight is the 5-step invitation process, which is very important. And if you are a veteran coach, the reason the 5-step invitation process is so important for you at this point is more so you can be able to explain it to your own team and explain it to your coaches. If you're a newer coach, the 5-step invitation process is the key to how we get almost everything done in this business, and it's something that you need to be super comfortable with. Before we get into the 5-step invitation process, I'm going to quickly go through a few announcements. The first is that a bunch of you are in Coach Basics, or you have coaches in Coach Basics. If you're a participant in Coach Basics right now, you have to remember to check in every single day to answer the prompts. We're not going to tag you every day, so that's on you. If you have your own participants in Coach Basics, you have to remember to check in on them each day. Make sure they're getting things done. Don't let a couple days go by without them answering. Make sure you stay on them and tag them. The next announcement is that our challenge group, the next one, is starting May 18th. So that means this is the most crucial time for you all to be inviting to the groups. As a reminder, the deadline for when people can get into the groups is the Wednesday before the challenge group starts. So, if they order that Wednesday, they're not going to get their stuff in time. But the reason that I've been kind of a little bit more flexible with that date is because of the 30-day free trial of Beachbody On Demand that comes with the challenge packs. They could always at least get started with workouts. If they don't have, their Shakeco, it'll be a few days late, but they can still jump in with workouts. So go right up until that Wednesday. But if you really want people to get their stuff in time, they should order by the Sunday before the challenge group starts. The next thing is that Katie Emanuel is running the free clean eating group for our team, and that's starting on May 13th. So if you would like to invite people to a free group, which is a great way to hook people into then continuing on with the challenge group, please make sure to contact Katie. She's going to be in charge of that. And then Renee Popolo is going to be running our 3-day refresh group, and that's going to start May 26th. So I know a lot of you have had success with getting Success Club points from the 3-day refresh challenge pack and then hooking people into continuing on with our regular challenge groups from there. So don't forget to invite to that as well. I quickly want to go over the challenge pack specials. Insanity Max 30 and Shakeology challenge pack is $180. The Insanity Max 30 Kickstart challenge pack, which also includes 3-day refresh, is $220. Body Beast is $140, and I think probably most of you are not very familiar with Body Beast, but it's a great program for building muscle. If you have people reaching out to you who are already fit or already do a lot of cardio but want to build muscle, both women and men can really just get so much definition from Body Beast. It really takes things to another level. It's very different than our other programs. It's a really cool program. And it's only $140, and again, with those $140 challenge packs, it's so easy. If people have interest in Shakeco, it's $10 more. So that the $140 challenge packs are often our hook to getting more people in. So don't forget about Body Beast this month, even if you haven't done it. Remember, in the Coach Online office, there's the product toolkits. And so if you go in there and look up Body Beast, you'll see the promo video, you'll see talking points, you'll see frequently asked questions, you'll see images you can use. There's everything that you could possibly want to use. And also on the Coach 411 website, they have the challenge pack specials, and they also have tons of images you can use to promote the program. So make sure you're checking there as well. The PIO challenge pack special was extended, so that's $140. I think most of us are familiar with PIO at this point, but remember, it's low impact. It's for people who don't want to use equipment. It's for people who want to tone up. It's for people who want to take it easy. We even have pregnant women doing PIO. It is an awesome program for a lot of people. Then the PIO Kickstart Challenge Pack, which includes 3-day refresh, is $180. And then we have the Ultimate Reset for $275, which we don't sell a lot of, but it is there if anybody's looking for a pretty serious 21-day cleanse. So those are the announcements. So to get into the 5-step invitation process, and if you have a question at any point, again, please just type it into the chat box and I'll stop and address it. The reason why we use this process is because it works. And I can't tell you how many coaches have a slow start because they try and use some other form of the process. You know, they feel like, I don't really need to go through all those steps. I'm just talking to my friends. I can talk casually. I don't need this. And then they realize that, wait a second, I'm reaching out to all these people and I'm not selling challenge packs. What's going on? You're not using the 5-step invitation process, or maybe you're not using it correctly. So use it because it works. It's been perfected and smoothed over many, many times. It's especially helpful if you're a new coach or if you are working with one of your new coaches to help them understand the process, because the inclination as a new coach is to just vomit and spew information. You know, like you're so excited to get your first challenger on board, and you just say, oh, I love this and Shakeology and this and that and that and that, and you just talk and talk and talk. You do not get interest from the other person. You don't show interest in the other person, and it turns people off. So we got to stick with the process. And of course, if you're sharing your journey on Facebook, and this is not a call about Facebook, but if you are regularly sharing your journey, it definitely makes this whole process a lot easier, because if you approach people about the challenge groups, they're going to have no idea what you're talking about if they haven't seen you talking about it on Facebook. And if you feel like you're using this, you know, when you're inviting people, you're like, well, I've invited a few people, but no one's saying yes. Well, I was just watching a video recently from Scotty Hobbs, who's one of the top coaches in Beachbody. He's an amazing guy and in the Millionaires Club. And he said generally at this point, he has to invite 20 people before he has one interested person fully commit. So if you're just inviting one person here, one person there, maybe you have a lucky streak in the beginning because you still have your warm market of all like your closest friends who are going to be really psyched to join you in this, but it doesn't last. And the longer you do this, the harder it gets in a certain way, because your warm market goes away. So you want to make sure that you are inviting a lot of people if you want to get those quality challengers in the group. And inviting is by far the most important part of this business. If you are posting on Facebook all the time and doing your personal development and working out every day, but not inviting and sending those actual individual messages, you are not going to get challengers. You might get one here and there, but you're not going to really move your business forward. You have to invite regularly. And in your approach, you have to remember that it's all about your posture when you're talking about this stuff. So you don't want to apologize for being bold. You don't want to apologize for reaching out to people, because you have to remember what you're offering. You're offering a solution that can actually change people's lives. You can change their health. You can better their mental state, giving them a little bit of stress relief. Think about who your niche market is and think about how you can help them. Think about how it's helped you. So do not be apologetic with your invitations. And of course, before you can even start to invite, you need to have a list. You should have a constant list somewhere, whether it's in Google Docs, whether it's in the notes on your phone, whether it's in an old-fashioned pen and paper notebook. You need a list, and you should be adding to that list every single day. Every single day, if you have any connection to a person, if you add a new Facebook friend, add them to the list. Maybe you have to make a note that you have to form with them first, right? Get to know them, comment on their stuff, like their stuff, but they go on your list, and that list should be getting bigger every day. When you want to do an invitation, the first thing that you want to do is to check your prospect's Facebook page, because you want to see what's going on in their lives. You don't want to send a super generic step one invitation. You want to make sure that you acknowledge something about them. So maybe you see that their kid did the cutest thing, or maybe they had a fun date night this weekend, or maybe they just went on vacation. You want to find some little nugget that shows that you actually pay attention to their page too, and that you care about their life, and you want to start off with something like that. So for step one, you want to say something like, I'm not sure if you've seen my Facebook, after you say like, hey, how are you? Love the picture of your kid, blah, 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 blah. By the way, I'm not sure if you've seen my Facebook posts about the challenge groups I do. They're all about fitness, nutrition, motivation, and support. It takes place online, and I especially focus on helping other busy mamas like myself. You know, that's something I would say, or whatever your niche is. I'd love to work with you and have you join us. Please just let me know if you'd like to learn more. Very simple and straightforward. Now, something that I like to do is, in that first line where I said, I'm not sure if you've seen my Facebook posts, if you posted something like that day or that week, that's a really good post. Like, actually, the one that I've been using the past couple of days is my post about Katie that I did, you know, where I had a snapshot of something she shared in the challenge group that talked about how, you know, when she started off, she was like a size 12, and now she actually wound up being a size 4, and, you know, she has this amazing success story. That's a post that really spoke to what our challenge groups can accomplish. So if you have a good one that goes up, copy the exact link to that post, and you can say, I'm not sure if you've seen my post about my friend Katie who had this great success. Copy that at the bottom of your message, because then the little image will show up. So if you have like a post, you know, with a really good motivational quote, or if it has a before and after or something, you know, there'll be that image there that actually shows up in Facebook Messenger that really grabs their attention. So I like to put that there. Or if you're using a Facebook event invite, which you know, hopefully some of you are using with your new coaches as a way to help them invite, or if you're just using that for yourself and, you know, throwing 50 people on there every month, have the link to the Facebook event invite copied in there too. So you can say, I'm not sure if you've seen my Facebook event invite for the challenge group I'm doing. I'll read this one more time. They're all about fitness, nutrition, motivation, and support. It takes place online, and I especially focus on helping other busy mamas. I'd love to work with you and have you join us. Please let me know if you'd like to learn more. So that's it. That's all it is for an invitation. And no matter what these people say back, whether they answer you, whether they write back and say, no, thank you, and that's it, these people will now be watching you. So you have created kind of a warm market out there, regardless, again, of their response to you. They're going to be watching you, and no matter what, even if they don't answer you, they're going to be watching to see if you stay consistent on Facebook. So you want to keep sharing your journey, because they'll come back. They might come back a year from now. It's happened to me. People will reach out of nowhere, people who, you know, just like never responded to you. All of a sudden, 6 months later, it's like, by the way, I think I'm ready for your challenge group. You know, as if they didn't ignore you the first time, they come back around. So you just gotta like have faith in that. And of course, the only way to get more comfortable with inviting is just to do it more. And I know that sounds crazy, but inviting is not comfortable for anybody in the beginning. When I first started inviting, I literally would, like, my heart would be racing, you know, as I would read it and reread it to see if I should tweak it. And then, you know, before I could press send, I would kind of feel like, you know, you worry about what people are going to think of you. All those crazy things go through your head, which of course you're all doing personal development now, so that's spewing those bad thoughts right out of there. But the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. Just like with the challenge groups, right? Like the more you work out, the more it just becomes part of your routine. It's no big deal. You were scared to do the challenge group at first. You were hesitant. Now it's part of your life. It's the same thing with inviting. So you have to just embrace it and do it. So now for step 2. So they write back and say, yep, you know, I'd love to know more. Or like, sure, tell me about it. So step 2 is to get their why. And you can never, ever, ever skip step 2, regardless of how well you think you know the person, regardless of how the conversation started. You cannot skip step 2. I think it is by far the most important step in the whole process. Even if this conversation goes nowhere, you should always keep in your little record of people, keep the person's why next to their name. You know, if you use an app or if you just have a notebook with your list of people that you've talked to, write the person's why there, because 6 months down the road, you know, when they come back to you, you can say like, oh, how'd you do with losing that 10 pounds? You know, did you make it to the gym every day like you thought you were going to do? Or when you follow up next month, say like, oh, how's it going reaching your goal of losing that baby weight? Like, you keep it specific and you keep it about them. So make sure you're taking note of what their why is. So you want to ask why they're interested. You can say, why are you interested in this? Or can I ask what your motivation is? Or can I ask why you're curious about this? And if someone reaches out to you, which the more you do this, the more people reach out to you, and you don't always have to be sending that first invite to actually have an invitation process go on. If they reach out to you and say, like, what is that Shakeology stuff that you're posting about, or what are these groups that you do, or even just something as simple as like, oh, how do you like 21 Day Fix? You still get their why, okay? So you still say, oh, I'd love to tell you about it. I'd be happy to share, but can you just tell me why you're interested first? And people will answer you. And if people give you kind of like a crap answer where they're like, well, doesn't everybody want to do this to lose weight? You're like, well, no, actually, can you please just be real with me and be more specific? So, you know, some people want to lose 5 pounds. Some people want to drop a size. Some people need to lose 50 pounds. Some people need to lose 100 pounds. Like, where are you in this realm? Please be specific. Otherwise, I can't really share relevant information. So the only time you would actually skip step 2 is if they started the conversation, and this does happen to me sometimes. People will send me a long email with like a really long list of why they're interested, you know, like, I'm finally willing to look into this. I just, you know, I've hit my rock bottom, and they give something really complete. That's the only time that you can actually skip step 2, because they just basically did it for you. So to lead into step 3 now, after getting their why, in response to them, the first thing that you want to do is to thank them for sharing with you, and to acknowledge that, you know, it's not always easy for people to share that information. So if someone just said, like, you know, I just don't feel like myself, I can't fit into my summer clothes, or I just need some me time, I'm going crazy with the kids, something like that, that's not always easy to share. So you do want to reach out and thank them for sharing, and acknowledge that it's not easy for them to share. The next thing you want to do is relate to them in some way. So find something, you know, even if their why is so different, even if you started off this challenge group, your first challenge group, having to lose no weight, and this person told you, I need to lose 80 pounds, find something about what they shared that you can relate to, and just like acknowledge it. Like, oh, it's so hard being a mom, isn't it, to take some time for yourself? Say something which gives you that personal connection. And then another thing, and this is a little bit of a different tip, that you might want to do if you don't know the person well. For those of you that have Facebook like pages, and you may be communicating with someone who's a complete stranger to you, which is something that is like now more of my regular world. You know, it's hard to work with a stranger. You can say, here, if you'd like to read more about my story and get to know me a bit more, check out. And then if you have a blog, you know, maybe there's an About Me link that kind of explains your story. You just put in that link. Or if you don't have a blog, create one of those notes on Facebook. You know how there's those Facebook notes? And fill it out and have your About Me story. And so that way you can just give a link. Oh, hey, Jen, glad you got home from PTA, or driving from PTA, it looks like. So put your story there, you know, have it be brief and concise, but say, you know, I started back in January of this year. I was a mom who just wasn't getting to the gym, and here's, you know, what this has done for me so far, and here's the programs I've done, and here's why I love it. Have your little About Me saved in a doc. So that way you can just have the link to that and throw it right in there in response and leading into step 3. And this is nice because your focus, you want the conversation to look as if it's focused on the other person. So you are focused on them. You do not want to hog this whole message trail where you're going to be sharing tons of information with information about you. But if they do want to get to know you, and especially if it's a stranger, having a link that they can refer back to, you know, maybe they're like hovering over step 5 later on, and they're like, who is this person anyway? Oh wait, she shared her story. Let me go back and just read more about her before I even decide if I want to give her my money. Have your story somewhere so it can be linked easily and that you can share it at this point. So to lead into step 3, let me see if Jen, I don't know if Jen actually wants to take over here. Hold on one second. Jen, do you wanna take over, or do you want me to keep going?
Where you were just finishing step 3?
Really, I was hooking into the beginning of step 3.
Oh, can you hear me or no?
Yeah, I can. Maybe it should.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Oh,
sorry, guys. That was the longest PTA meeting in the history of the PTA. I profusely apologize. She just talks about finding out their why and making the connection. And once you find out their why, then it's time to move into step 3. And for step 3, I usually do one of two things. I either show, if they have given some indication that they're interested in a particular program, I will give them the video of that program. And if they're just still talking about losing weight in general and haven't shown a specific interest in a particular program, I will share the Team Perseverance Challenge Group YouTube video, which is basically a testimonial of past challengers who speak about why the challenge groups are important to them, why Shakeology has helped them, why the programs have helped them, and the support network has helped them. And it really helps people see the value in what the challenge groups is going to bring to them, as opposed to just buying some fitness DVD any place. So that's really important. So I'll share that. And in one of the trainings that I did, they said,
oh, can't really hear you, Jen. She's talking, Jen. Can't hear you. Okay, can you guys hear me right now? Yes. All right. Jen, hold on, let me put a message in the chat. Okay. All right, so Jen was saying that you should share the video, the promo video for the program that you would recommend. And what you want to do also at the beginning of step 3 is to say, I'm recommending, let's say, a 21-day fix because it will help you with, and then take the exact words that they gave you from their why and insert them there. And that might sound like a little bit ridiculous to use their exact words, but it's just going to resonate more with them. So put it in right there, and you're going to do that again later, but make sure you have their why saved, easily accessible, and you put it in there. So I'm recommending this because, and then you put in the video of the program and share a brief description of it. And if you need help describing a program, especially if it's a program that you personally haven't done, again, remember the product toolkit and the Coach Online Office is going to give you, talking points and frequently asked questions. So it should be pretty easy. Or if you don't know, if you don't know what to recommend, make sure you're posting in the team group and saying, this is the why that this person gave me. And then someone is going to write back and give you a recommendation and say exactly why. You can even use that person's response, as part of your response there. So after you do that, you want to say, just, can you check out this video and let me know if it would be a good fit for you? That's all it is. That's all step 3 is. So you don't want to kind of bog them down with information. You're just sharing the video. And by the way, if you haven't seen the Team Perseverance testimonials video, it's really good. Like Jen said, if you're not ready to make a specific recommendation, or this person still just really needs a feel for what the challenge groups are, if they're totally unfamiliar, that might be a better video to use. So let me see if Jen wants to jump in with step 4 here now.
Hold on. I'm just switching to my computer because I'm having some technical issues. So
Yeah, sorry, I took over to finish step 3 because we didn't hear
I'm sorry.
anything you said. No, that's okay. No problem.
Can you start with step 4 and I'm going to try to log on from the computer.
Yep. Okay, so for step 4, a lot of times at this point, this might be where you get a little bit of dead air, because sometimes when you ask people to watch a video, you know, it's like hanging over their head. And by the way, when you give them the video, you might want to say something like, this is just 2 minutes long. I know you're super busy, but it's just 2 minutes long, so they don't feel like they really have something hanging over them that they need to do. So if you haven't heard back from them, you know, like 24 hours later, then you want to send a follow-up message and just say, hey, did you have a chance to watch the video? If they don't write back, then the next day, just assume that they're one of those people. Some people just like do not watch videos. You just reiterate a description of what they would have seen in the video and take it from there. And then say, does this sound like something that would be a good fit for you? So for step 4, you want to basically confirm their interest and then describe the challenge group, describe Shakeology. And again, when you describe Shakeology, just like you did with introducing the promo video for the fitness program, you want to give their exact words from their why right back at them. So Shakeology will help you with fill in the blank of their exact words from their why and put that there again, you know, to show you really listen to them and so it resonates with them. And you want to talk about what they will get. So an example of what you can say is, let's see. So after they say like, yes, I'm interested, you say, awesome, I would love to have you in the group. I definitely think this will help you with your goals, you know, and you want to have that specific with their why. I just want to explain to you what you're going to get. You'll get the complete at-home DVD fitness program, a workout program that tells you exactly what to do on each day, a nutrition plan, a month's supply of Shakeology, a money-back guarantee, so this is absolutely risk-free, a lifetime disc replacement program, so if one of your discs breaks or gets lost at any point, Beachbody will happily send you another one, a 30-day free trial of Beachbody On Demand, and then make sure you have a blurb that you're using that says, you know, there are now over 200 workouts available, and, you know, it's, just unmuting again. There's over 200 workouts available. It's like a $3,000 value. Everything will be streaming. You get a 30-day free trial of this. And then, of course, my coaching and the group itself is absolutely free to you. And, you know, this is a small investment for better health and reaching your goal of their why, fill in the blank. It's a great value, isn't it? So that's something right there. Jen, do you want to, are you on the computer? Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I just unmuted myself.
Okay.
Yes, I send a message exactly like what Sharice just said, and adding in the new aspect of Beachbody On Demand is definitely a nice selling point. And I always finish it by saying, and you get me as your personalized coach to be your personal cheerleader. To let them know that's part of the value of the package that comes with the package. And, you know, a lot of times people, you know, when they get to that point in the conversation, their question is, well, what's it cost? How much is the cost? And I'll never say like, you know, $160. I'll say, well, the challenge pack includes, and I'll list all of the things that Sharice just said and I just said. And then at the end, I'm like, oh, for the price of, and I said, that works out. I like to work it out per day because I think it doesn't sound as bad. So I'll say, oh, so it's $160. So that works out to roughly about $5.50 a day, which is pretty cheap for a gym membership if you think of it that way. That's like the cost of, you know, your Starbucks. So when people think of it in that perspective, they realize they're worth a cup of coffee every day when they're working towards their health and fitness. So so that's step 4. And then hopefully at that point, they've seen the value. They've seen everything that we have to offer, and they've decided that this is something for them. So at this point, one or two things happens. They either say, yes, I'm in. Then you move to step 5, which is the easy part, is when you help them to make the transaction happen. Give them step-by-step directions of how to make the sale happen. Or they're still hemming and hawing and saying, I don't know, I'm not sure. The thing you keep rotating back to and keep circling back to is that why. You know, if they're really on the fence, I just always keep going back to the why. Like, okay, listen, we've got that wedding to plan for. We've got that vacation coming up. You know, I know this is important to you and I want you to be successful. And I know this can help you be successful. So just keep circling back to that. I just actually went through this with someone who was in our 7-day free group. At the end of it, she said, I don't have enough money. We're getting married in the summer and I just can't do it. And I kind of left her alone for a little while. And I work with her, so I see her all the time. And I sent her another message last night and I was like, hey, listen, my May 18th group only has a few spots left. I would really love for you to take one. I know you want to walk on that beach on your honeymoon and feel comfortable in that bikini, because that's what she told me. And she said, you know what? All right, I'm in. I'm going to do it. So that was like a 4-week process. Like, a no is a no for right now. So don't just say, if they say no, don't be like, oh, done. Never going to talk to that person again. I always cycle back whenever a new challenge group is coming up with those people. Like, I make a list of those step 4 people. When you lose them at step 4 because they get scared or for whatever reason, keep a list of those people. And those are the people that you really want to keep cycling back to, maybe every month, every other month, because those are the people who traveled with you through steps 1 through 4. That's a lot of time that they were really learning. They were showing genuine interest. So, those are the people you want to keep reaching out to, because those are the ones that the no's will turn into yeses. So definitely keep circling back to them. Now for those people who are saying, yep, I'm ready, let's do this, then you move to step 5. I make a blurb I have it in my notes, on my iPhone, that I just copy and paste. You need to give explicit directions, okay? You want to make it as smooth and easy for people so that they don't have any trouble. If you have made, there's a way you can go in and make direct links. We can post the website that you can do that on.
Jen,
yeah.
I just want to say, I really recommend simplecoachtools.com. I shared that with my team this week, as opposed to the other one that we used to use.
Oh, okay.
It's so much, it's just like a clean interface, like a good website. It's super user friendly. It's not, nobody's going to screw it up. I feel like there's been instances where links haven't worked on that other site we would use.
Okay.
Simplecoachtools.com. You would just put in your coach ID on the opening page, and then you select whether you're in the US or Canada. It goes to the next page and everything is right there. And then there'll be a little hyperlink and it tells you right there, right click on this to copy the link, and you just copy and paste it right in, and it's been like flawless for me so far. So it's really good.
So that's awesome. So I'll go on that and get those links as well. You give them the link. I always tell people what will happen when they get to the link. Okay, so this is going to bring you to the product. You need to choose your Shakeology flavor. And then you're going to check out. And I say, when you check out, please let me know so I could just take a peek at your order and make sure there's no problems. Because sometimes, even though you send them the link, I don't even know how this happens. They end up back at your regular page and they'll order just the program or something. And they'll be like, oh, I didn't know I did that. And then it's a whole rigmarole and problems. So I always check the order as soon as they process it to make sure it's done correctly. Because if you call Coach Relations, or the customer calls customer service, or you can even do a 3-way call with Coach Relations right away, they can sometimes make corrections where if they just bought the program and they wanted to buy a challenge pack, but it has to be very, very close to the point of sale. Once it goes out for shipping, it's done. And then it's a pain because then they have to return it, and it's a whole process. So always, if someone says they're ordering, keep checking that previous office view and look for that order. You want to see that order, and when you see it in, hit view where you can see their invoice and make sure it is what they said they were ordering, because you want to make sure they're getting what they want. You want their transaction to be positive from the moment they make it. And if you see there's a problem, then you private message them right away. They're like, listen, I just checked your order. If there's a little issue, here's how we're going to fix it. And you come up with the solution right away. I'm going to do a 3-way call with you, with coach relations or with customer service. We're going to get it fixed. Don't worry. You cannot call on their behalf because it is their order, it's their credit card information. They won't, coach relations and or customer service will not deal with you directly. They need the customer on the phone. So, if you work with them, you can call. I've called on speakerphone with them and, that kind of thing, or you can do a 3-way call. So, so that's really, so when you get them to the point of sale and then you're good, and then that is done. And then always keep that list of those people that fell off the wagon at step 4. So that way you can cycle back to them next time.
And then also the other easiest way to do step 5 is the Coach Mobile app, which is just coachmobile.teambeachbody.com. And the only thing with that is that once you use it once for that person, like, if you send out one link and then they lose it, which is sometimes it does go to spam, so you have to tell them the link is coming from Beachbody and it could be in your spam folder, so have them locate it right away. You can't then generate another link for them. Or if they decide, oh, you know what, actually I'm going to do PIO and not 21-day fix, you can't then send another one for like a new order. So then you'd have to just use Simple Coach Tools as the most direct way. But of course, it is very easy to just have a link show up in somebody's email address for people who just, or you feel like they're going to screw it up somehow, especially that's the way to go, I think. So does anyone have any questions? No questions. All right, cool. Well, thank you guys for the time. We went slightly over 30-minute mark, but not too much. If you come up with any questions later on, just put them up on your team page and we will answer them, okay? Thank you guys, and I will post the recording later on. If you guys have coaches that you think would benefit from this, make sure that you get them to watch this at some point, all right? Thank you. Good night. Bye.